Hello, welcome to day 28 of 30 Days of Photoshop with me, Kevin Aronson from Hampshire School of Photography. Today we're looking at the sky replacement tool, which is tremendous fun, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one. The sky replacement tool is controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people think it is a great way of rescuing pictures with boring skies, which we get a lot of in this country. Obviously, it's nearly always overcast, or it seems that way. Other people think that you should never ever change the sky and replace it because it's unethical and it's immoral and it's the end of life as we know it. And it's not for me to pass judgment over what is right and what is wrong, but I will show you how to use it and you can make your own decisions. To access it, you go to the edit menu and you click on sky replacement, and it immediately adds the last picture that was the last sky that was being used or viewed, which is that one there. But you've got to drop down and you can pick from standard. You get blue sky, spectacular and sunsets. I've added night skies and storms myself. You can download more by clicking on the cog and go to get more skies. That takes you to Adobe's website, and from there you can download additional sky packs. And here we go. I'm just going to scroll down, and let's say we wanted storms. We then click on download. It downloads them. There it is downloading in Safari. Once it's downloaded, you can go back into here, click on the picture again or on the little drop down, and once you've got this dialog box up with a little cog in again, you click on there, and now you do import skies. Now if you already had pictures of skies on your hard drive, you would click on there, but because we've downloaded some sky presets from Adobe, and we click on this one. Up box, dialog box, pick the skies you want, click open, and it imports them straight in and creates the folder for you that you see there. Okay. Two sliders at the top. One controls the edge of the effect, where it's going to be. So if I take it down right to this end, the edge is up here somewhere. If I push it down all the way, then it's dropped down to about here. You can see it's overlapped the church building. So somewhere in between is the right place. The right place. So we're going to make a guess somewhere around about there. And then the fade is all about whether it's a hard edge or whether it's a soft edge. Sometimes a hard edge doesn't work very well at all because you kind of get strange effects going on when it dashes behind trees and leaves, and it looks kind of unreal. So I tend not to go for a hard edge. And if you go for a faded soft edge, what you're actually looking at is a fade between the new sky and the sky that's underneath. Sometimes brightening the image up or darkening the image increases the unwanted side effect of it just not working properly. You can see there, let me scroll in, zoom in closer. You can see that it really isn't working well with the leaves. If you go to the other end of the brightness control, then it starts working, and quite often having a brighter cloud is better than a darker one. I'm looking for a fairly ominous shot here. And I had deliberately pre-processed the image to give it a fairly sort of gritty look. So obviously this was taken during bright sunlight, and there are clouds here behind the greys, which suggests the sun's up in this direction. So as this is the bright part of the sky and this is the dark part, I'm going to flick them round. There we go. That makes much more sense. This I'm not going to adjust. This adjusts the scale of the clouds. So if you zooming up towards the right, you actually end up going in closer. But of course, the more you zoom in, the less definition you're going to get. The further you're zoomed out, the better the definition. You've got a choice between two blending modes: multiply or screen. Screen doesn't work very often. Not too bad. I think I prefer multiply in this case. And then you get this lighting adjustment here, which can or cannot make a massive amount of difference. And actually, when I slide this off to the left, I kind of like what it's done here, brighten this area up. So I'm going to keep that. Color adjustment from the warm to the cooler end, and then you can adjust that again here to the sky itself. So a more blue sky or a more yellowy sky or somewhere in between, just where it takes your fancy. Output to new layers in most cases, and click OK. And there's the picture. You can actually access the masks if you want to here, and you can go into the mask here, which is the mask around the church, and with a brush. So it's a white mask. I think it's a white mask. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. So I can, if I want to, make my own adjustments, but I don't want to. I'm reasonably happy with that. Let's do one more picture. Let's zoom this one. You've seen this one before. So we're going to go to Edit, Sky Replacement. Same sky is there, so that should be added any moment. There we go. Not going to use that one. I was going to scroll down to a different one. Let's go spectacular. Why not? Let's scroll down. You can adjust how many of these images you see at a time. I don't think you can widen it. Oh, you can widen it. Do you know what? I'd never noticed that before. Okay, that's good. Obviously, you can see the whole lot, or you can go in super close and get full-size images of them. So let's have a look. What can we use here? What about that one? That would work. Now, you might be tempted to pick a spectacular sky in order to make your shot look totally awesome. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I tend to think more about what sort of shot is this? What's the right sky for this kind of place? What works well with the surroundings and the colours in the shot? Now, I quite like this sky, but it does present me with a problem. And the problem is that down here in the water, we've got light reflected, which is coming through the trees. Now, at the moment, this sky, which is quite dark, is producing a fairly dark, ominous, sort of purpley, mauvey background. But down here, the water is bright. So I would have to go into the mask and remove the sky from behind the trees there in order for that to work. Not only that, there would be a reflection, which means additional work. You'd have to create a duplicate of this sky and superimpose it upside down and blend it in with the water here to make it look realistic. We're not going to do that today, but we are going to look to see whether we can make this shot work reasonably well. So let's see. I'm going to shift the edge a little bit. That's too much. I want a bit more impact. That's quite good. Bit more. Drop it down further. No, that's not working at all. Let's try that. That's not too bad. What about the fade? So there is some natural cloud there from the original image, which is kind of blended in. It all looks kind of natural up here and around here. It's just this bit, so we'll go with that. Do we need to change any of the colours? What about the level of brightness? See, that's so ominous. And if anything, we need to go brighter. That's better. We've got a bit more light up here. Can we go brighter still? Yeah, this is beginning to work. It's looking more realistic. We just have to lighten the clouds behind these trees up here. And I do that by clicking on this mask and painting with a black brush. So there's the brush. Let's just reduce the... maybe 24 is okay. I'm just going to paint away now some of that cloud. And it should start getting brighter. Actually, it's going to go... increase my flow. It's pretty bright up there, and I've gone too far, so I'm just going to hit X to toggle to white brush and paint that back. And of course, what's happened now is that I cut over the trees, so let's undo. That's easier, that's better. Back to the black brush, just make sure I've got everything out of there, and taking care not to go into that spot there. Okay, so there we go. Bright down there, bright up there, everything seems to work. That is the sky replacement tool. Have fun with that one. So at this point, you probably need to check out phototeacher.blog, where we run all 30 days of Photoshop. All 30 days are on there, available to anybody completely free of charge. On the other hand, if you're looking for a proper workshop in a classroom with a teacher, me, then we have a training centre in Fleet, which is in North Hampshire. And there we run workshops, not just on Photoshop, but also Lightroom. And of course, we've got a full range of photography workshops. Now, there are workshops there designed for complete beginners through to those who want to go professional, everything in between. Some of them run for a day, some for over a number of days. And there are a couple of workshops or courses that run over the course of a year for those who have the time and the inclination to take it a bit more seriously. So for that, you need our main website, which is gohsp.com. gohsp.com. HSP is Hampshire School of Photography. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope we see you back again tomorrow.